Hello, everybody. This is Anonymous Miss Moon Goddess again, coming on here to share another part of my story, my spiritual journey with Mr. xxxtentacion. So, I'm going to just go ahead and move into how it all happened. So, I think 2 weeks, I think it was, 2 weeks before his death, I had this big premonition. And usually when I get premonitions like that, it's like of a family member, somebody close to me. So I was like, why am I getting a premonition of somebody dying? So I'm like, and mind you, for a living, I was doing custodial work. So it was like, at the time, I had been on the men's side cleaning. And I was overcome with this extreme heaviness in my stomach, and I know the only times I get that is when somebody is about to pass. And I'm like, man, I'm hoping this is not one of my family members. And this was like 2 weeks before X passed. So let's back this up. I never knew him. Never knew he was an artist. I seen him one time when he was, I think, going through a Instagram post that I had came across on my TL. And I seen him fighting with the Migos, or when he got into that big old scuff. And I didn't know who he was, so I was like, damn, they wilding, these new artists, wilding out here. So I really didn't understand what this was coming from. And I seen a picture of him. And that day I seen a picture of him, I had sat and I looked at it for at least 10 seconds. I just stared at it and it just like captured me. And I'm like, what? Something came over me and I was like, well, that means something. But I wrote it off because I was like, well, it ain't nothing serious. Because let me back it up, although I have a gift and I've had it since I was a little girl, I never condoned in using it because I was always raised as a Christian, and I was always raised as to believe that anything other than God was demonic. So I always was growing up thinking like I was a whole abomination because I was born with this gift, right? So as it goes on and it plays out, and I have this big premonition in the bathroom and things like that. 2 weeks later, he died. So then it was like media frenzy, and I'm like, who is xxxtentacion? And I'm like, then I go back and I look at his picture when they were advertising his death and stuff, and saying it's about his passing, and I was like, oh man, shoot, that's the dude I saw. When they had gotten the scuff with when he got in the scuff with the amigos. So I'm like, man, what the heck? This is who I felt was passing. So I'm like, wow. So I just felt like, you don't understand. Like, I felt so compelled that like something was like edging me. I don't know if it was the universe. I don't know what it was, but I was compelled to push more. Like something was pushing me towards him. So I was like, okay, I've never used my ability in my life. I've always either experienced stuff, spirits that came to me, I got scared. I always run from my problems, run from my ability. That's how I've been my whole life. And to be honest, I don't even know how I managed this far with the age that I am, that I'm not going to really put out there yet. So to me, all this was like, wow. So I seen like where people was trying to contact him, like on YouTube and stuff like that. And I saw within the first week how impacted everybody was, because I know everybody felt that big signal X. That was a signal, man. When everybody felt and cried, and there was so many people impacted. I mean, so many people impacted by just the little time that he was here. Let me know that he was greatly gifted with the same ability that I had. They don't talk about it much in the documentary, but I guarantee you, if y'all dug a little bit, you would see what I'm saying. But I just felt compelled. And at that time, that first week, I was like not about to reach out to him. I was like, no, I've never used my gift in my life. And I just felt so compelled to use it. So I remember I had meditated for a second, and then I closed my eyes and I can hear John. I'm like, I can hear him saying, help me, help me. So I'm like, man, I finally meditated long enough to where I actually make contact. And I first, with me not knowing, have no knowledge of what I am really, I knew I had an ability. I've never used it. I was scared. And I was like, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So when I heard his voice and I started going on, and there was other people that I know that are good in the game, because there's some people that really know how to connect with spirits. It's just, it is what it is. And there's a lot of people that lie about it. Just post it for clout. So in one of, I think it was, who was it? It's a really big YouTuber. He's paranormal YouTuber, Huff. When I seen the video of Huff and Ja was like, help me, help me, I just got floored because I knew that he was in connection with him too. And I was like, wow, bruh. I really sat and heard him cry out to me. So for me, I wanted to know for sure what was around me and what I was feeling. So I had logged onto this app. It was this app that I'm not going to disclose because he told me don't. So I'm not going to do it because there's people that will just explore it, open doors, and y'all be talking to the wrong things. And it's like, you don't want to let stuff in that'll hurt you. And you don't want to let stuff. This is why he told me no, he just doesn't want that for people. And that's just the kind of person he was. He was caring. Still is. Okay. Regardless of what the doc had in him, he had mental problems, but he was very a caring person. He's still that way. So I downloaded this app, and it is a very good app. And I think from what I was told by one of the people that had used the app off of the Google Play comments, they were like, you have to straight up have an ability to use this app. There's a lot of people talking shit about this app. There's different views, but I'm telling you, you definitely have to have an ability because this app is a frequency app and it's actually a portal. Y'all need not to play with some of these apps. They are actually portals. I tried to tell people this, but they look at you and it goes in one ear and out the other. They act like there's, no such thing as things that go bump in the night, and I just don't understand it. But moving on, I logged onto this app, and before you know it, he had been coming up on the app. And I was like, there's no way. At first, I couldn't believe it for a long time. I mean, there were so many things that X was trying to do, so many signs he was trying to give me